Hello everyone, welcome to Franklin Park Zoo. My name is Nicole. I'm a housekeeper here in Hooves and Horns, coming to you today with a Facebook Live. Today's sponsor, Zoo to You, is brought to you by U.Fund College Investment Plan and MEFA. We're thankful to have them helping us out today so that we can bring the ostriches to you on World Ostrich Day. Woo! One of my favorite days of the year because these guys are one of my favorite animals. I am one of their trainers here at Franklin Park Zoo. So I'll be showing you a little bit of what we do together to make things happen. I'm going to take off my ostrich celebration hat because I don't want to distract them. So first I'll introduce you to these guys. On the left we have Julius. He's our male ostrich. He's 4 years old. And on the right we have Wub, our female ostrich. She is 7 years old. Right away you can tell them apart because Julius is your typical male. He's black and white, very tall. Wub is a little bit smaller and she is gray in color. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to hang up their stations. They each have a name tag that they should go to. We're still learning how to differentiate between the two. So Wub is instantly going to Julius's station, which is incorrect. We'll see if we can get her to come over to this one. Wub, what do you think? Do you want to go to this station? There we go. She's making her way. And Julius is going to go to this one. It's a little scatterbrained. Good. In the beginning to get them started. Good. So they're not the brightest bulbs there. Their natural skill set is they're going to be good picking and looking for grass in the, in the land and eating different leaves and vegetation. So pecking comes very naturally to them. So this is a natural behavior for them, believe it or not. So this is a pretty easy behavior to train. We teach them to go to their own stations so that we can separate them and we can work on them one-on-one. So I might work with Wub, with her at her station, and someone else might work with Julius. And during those training sessions, we might work on some more complex behaviors because we're working on one-on-one. We can give them their individual attention. They're not trying to grab grain from each other like they are now. Some of those behaviors that we work on are getting them on and off a scale. They actually go over their scale platform every day to get onto their habitat. And we take their weights about once a month. So they're very good at participating in their health care. We also can hand inject them. So every year these guys get their West Nile vaccine. So I'm able to have them line up parallel to the fence and I can lift up their wing and give them an injection in their thigh. And the most new behavior that we're working on right now is actually a blood draw behavior. So they're gonna, she stole some grain there, gonna line up at the fence line. I'm gonna squat down and kind of manipulate the leg and try to take some blood from there. So some very interesting behavior working on. Like I said, they're not the brightest, but they're still really fun to work with. These guys, during their training session right now, they're getting a grain mixture. This is specifically formulated for ostrich. It has all the nutrients they need to stay healthy. We also give them quite a variety of greens. We have a cheater over here. Get back there. Get back there. Good job. All right, so some of the greens we give are romaine, kale, collard, so quite the good salad. They also get some compressed grass. We call it ALF cubes. And then for variety, we'll also give hard-boiled eggs. We'll give grapes. There we go. They're doing a pretty nice job. We've got a couple cheating moments here. It's definitely hard to jump back and forth, so usually I have a trainer so that we don't have cheating. But they're definitely fun to work with. So like if I want to do a neck behavior, I'll say neck, I'll touch, good. And I use that word good, and that lets them know that they did a nice job. She let me touch her neck. But, good job. So they like those greens. We like to give them whole romaine heads, and that way they can peck at it and eat it. They also, Julius is still learning to love grapes, but Wub seems to really chow down on some grapes, and they both like hard-boiled egg, believe it or not. That's a good question. Here we go.
They don't mind the cold?
They don't. So if it's too cold, we can put them in their shelter. They can go into their shelter if they need to stay warm. Usually, so when it was really, really cold, we give them a huge straw bed in their shelter so they can hunker down and stay nice and warm in the cold weather. That's a nice job, lady. But these guys are, I worked with mostly African species, and these guys are more tolerant than a lot of the other animals that I work with. Good job. You can go to your own. She's like, I want all the grain. There we go. Good job. But they're definitely silly to look at. They've got those nice big eyes to be able to survey the land. You notice Julius's beak is bright red. These guys are a subspecies of ostrich called Redneck Ostriches. And his neck will get really, really red during breeding season. I don't know if you guys have been following our Facebook Live since like the beginning back in March. But we did a video and Julius was he looked a little bit different. He was bright red in the neck, in the beak, and in the legs, and he was also dancing at the time. It's pretty funny to watch, but it's supposed to impress the ladies. But I definitely recommend checking out that video and seeing what he looks like in breeding season opposed to now. He'll be coming into breeding season pretty soon, around March, and it will continue through August, September. And his behavior will change as well. He'll spend a lot more time patrolling the environment, looking for mates or for any threats to his area. So it's definitely interesting to see how the season affects them. She does lay eggs. So she lays about 20 a year, believe it or not. Not all of them are fertile. Julius is just coming into breeding age. So none of them have been fertile that we know of. This subspecies of ostrich can lay up to 50 eggs a year. Even, I think some individuals have laid up to 100. So a lot of eggs around here. Good job. So these guys are protected contact, which means we do not go in with them. So Julius, it was hand raised. And that means he kind of doesn't necessarily have personal boundaries. Yeah, I just took their stations down because they've been working for a while, so I just want to give him some free snacks. We don't go in with him. He's too pushy, and Wub can be a little temperamental. A lot of birds pick their favorite people they like and don't like. So she has shown some signs of aggression in the past where she might hiss or she might press her body at the fence. And that kind of tells us that maybe she doesn't like us in her space. So we respect that, and we do all our training and all our care, protected contact.
And how old are they?
Julius on the left here is 4, and Wub on the right is 7.
How much do these guys weigh?
I want to say that Wub is around like 320 pounds. I think Julius is closer to 400, if I'm not mistaken. Either that or he's almost 300 and she's 230. I can't quite remember. I'm really bad. You're not supposed to share your weights with people, right? You're supposed to keep it secret.
Martha just asked, how long do they usually live?
They can actually live quite a long time, into their 30s or 40s. Some have been documented to live up to 50, so quite some time.
And are ostriches endangered?
They are not. Common ostriches are of least concern. There are various subspecies of ostrich. Like I said, these guys are rednecks. There are Somalian ostriches that are actually extinct and became extinct in the 1960s. That was due to overhunting for the most part. A lot of people like them for their feathers or for their meat. Get too close, they'll peck your phone.
Big close up.
Yeah.
Do they like any particular kinds of enrichment or?
Yeah, they like they like to investigate with their beaks. So we give them a lot of items that they can, peck at. We have recently started introducing some greens feeders. We have some noise chimes that they can peck at. Their favorite is just a regular scatter feed. We'll rip up their greens and toss them around, and they'll forage for those. She's getting more interested in pecking other things other than the scoop right now, so I'll take it away. She's ready to peck my sleeve or something. They are very curious. But they will spend naturally 80% of their day foraging for food. So we want to be able to help them engage in those behaviors as much as possible by doing those different foraging activities and things. And a lot of times that makes for fun for seeing them on exhibit. When you guys come to visit, they'll be perusing and walking around, and they're known to follow guests along the greeting when they first come in. So they're like our official zoo greeters. They're moving on to more adventurous things, huh? Yeah.
Alexandra asked about their coloring and if they're different just because one's male and one's female.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So that is why they're different colors. Females are always going to be a gray color, and males are always going to be black and white. And that kind of helps them naturally too. So when they are going to be sitting on a nest, the female will oftentimes sit during the day because she's that dusty grayish color, and it kind of blends in with the ground. Where at night, the male will sit on the nest. He's that nice black color, so he can blend in really, really well.
We have a couple more.
Yeah.
Nancy asked, how fast do they run, and do they ever get the chance to at the zoo?
Oh yeah, so they can run up to 40 miles an hour. So they can outrun most predators that they encounter. Their running is kind of silly looking. They can kind of steer using their wings a little bit, so it's a little bit chaotic. Their exhibit is humongous. I love their exhibit, and they can run, and I have seen them do laps, and they'll spin in circles, and it's definitely entertaining to watch, and it's very impressive to watch. You wouldn't expect them to run that fast. But running is kind of like their main defense against predators. They also have really powerful legs that are really good for kicking. So they'll kick forward at different things coming at them to defend themselves. And they have really sharp toenails. So their toenails will actually do a lot of damage as well. And right now, after they eat their snack, they're doing a little bit of preening and taking care of their feathers, huh?
And Martha was asking, what kind of predators do they
have? Lions, cheetahs, things like that. Not necessarily everything will want to challenge them. So, a cheetah is pretty small and wouldn't necessarily be able to take out one of these guys. So a lot of times their chicks are going to be preyed on more by maybe like hyenas or vultures and things like that. So their chicks are really more at high risk than these guys are.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say about ostriches?
I love them. Everybody else should love them. They're really cool, interesting, and they definitely deserve all the love on this World Ostrich Day.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have time for, so thank you for doing this chat today.
Oh, thank you guys for all tuning in, and we hope to see you soon.